forward. Selling Suprax for pharyngitis and tonsillitis. There's enthusiasm in the back. Yay! Well, I know that a lot of people have talked about making more money to this point. How do we make more money? Making more money. New program will make you more money. Better way of selling will make better questions will make better trial closing, better closing. But no one's done this to this point. Because I kind of had a feeling what I see. I saw some jumping, especially as it floated down in that center section. I saw some reaching. I saw actually in the back row, I think it was one of the Western districts, I saw someone diving in the aisle. I dropped one. And I think if you roll all three of those up, here's what I really saw. I saw some desire. Enthusiasm, passion. So you like money. You want money. I saw a lot of videos today. Little vignettes of success stories. And as I watched them carefully and listened to the words, I saw passion. I could see it in their eyes. I could see it in the tone. And I saw about 8 of them so far. And that's encouraging to see. And I want to pick on 3 other guys that I know have a lot of passion because I work awfully closely with them. They're all hired early this year to go to the training department. And so just a brief little snippet on these 3. You saw them all today. Scott, Darren, and Russ. On Suprax tablets alone, in the past year, if you just count back from now, a year, they've averaged each making about $14,000 in bonus. Now keep in mind, 2 of them are pediatric reps. AOM's their main indication. One's our Antera expert. Antera's always in the first position, or had been to this point. $14,000 each, that's the average. They believe they can sell Suprax tablets. They're pocketing money from Suprax tablets. And you can too. We're going to talk today a bit about 2 musts and some details on selling Suprax tablets better. The first must is you have to make a full second P2 presentation. It can't be a layup and I also stock you up with Suprax, and I think you know that. You've got to make the time. If you show the passion, I have a feeling that they might give you a lot more time, your doctors. And is it going to happen every call when you have a full P2 call? Every call? Probably not. Then why is it when I'm going to fill with Scott, or Russ, or Darren, they somehow passionately get through it way more times than not? That's key number 1. Second key is, if you have the confidence from really having the knowledge, you can make more effective pharyngitis tonsillitis calls. And that's my purpose today. Now, I really was partially surprised because I looked over the trainer's presentations, but I didn't know what words would sometimes go with the slides. And all 3 mentioned this point about sometimes being careful with your questioning, because we're a questioning culture company. And we teach things like super probes to get more information. We teach lines like walk me through, help me understand, treatment regimens, algorithms, things like that. This can get you in trouble a lot, especially with pharyngitis and tonsillitis. So I do want to ask, what's your initial or go-to therapy or main therapy? And that's all I want to know. Why do I want to know that? Because I think I know the answer is going to probably be some sort of traditional treatment, like an amoxicillin or a penicillin. If I ask an algorithm, could you imagine having to handle, well, first I normally go with amoxicillin, and then if that fails, I go with Omnicef, and then if that doesn't work, I go with Keflex, and now I've got one, now I've got two, now I've got three, folks. Once I get over the amoxicillin, I got two other battles to fight. I think I can fight them fairly well, but I don't want to pick them unnecessarily. So find out first line. I would much rather talk about pathogens, uncover a need, and fulfill that need with Suprax than I would like to talk about drugs, uncover a foe or a competitor, and have to fight against that drug with why they're doing something wrong. Uncover a need, fulfill it with Suprax. And Suprax can really fulfill a need in pharyngitis tonsillitis. So resist the temptation for all rhythms or regimens, especially in your first question. Set yourself up for a soon-to-be uncovered need rather than unleashing an army against you. I don't want to feel like this. Omnicef, Keflex, amoxicillin, fluoroquinolones, whatever it is. I don't want to battle one-on-one. And really, it's not even a battle if they utilize some traditional treatment first line. Because they really shouldn't be faulted for that. There's some understanding that will happen once we find that out, and we'll talk about that. So, back to the initial first question. What is your initial go-to therapy? Main therapy. You're going to hear, in most cases, well, I typically start off with a penicillin or an amoxicillin. Hurdle one, taken care of. Now I want to ask, when it fails, where someone suggested, you know, amoxicillin just not cutting it. Why do you think that is? I don't want to tell why it is. I know why it is. Serves me no purpose to tell. Can't walk out of the office having someone think Jim Rome I told me, so now I'm changing therapies. I want them to discover on their own. So let's think out loud. Why do you think it fails, doctor, when it does fail? Here's the responses that I hear. We can talk in breakout sessions if you like, hear others. Well, Jim, there's resistance. Not as effective as it used to be. Maybe different pathogens involved. That's kind of a ching-ching moment if I hear that. I don't want to ask, do you ever have any failures? How often do you have failures? Do you see failures? I don't want to set myself up with a question that can put me in a position where a doctor has a chance to minimize the relevance of my drug. So don't ask a question that gets you in trouble. When you do have failures, or when amoxicillin isn't cutting it, why do you think that is? You've gone through the assumption already that they have failures because you know that they do. Don't give someone a chance to blatantly lie to you. There are no drugs perfect. When you hear those answers of resistance, not working as well as it used to, could be other bugs, here's a perfect page. Happens to be on the very first page of your main visual aid. Open it up, and the very first point that's covered, for a reason, is there. And I'd love to hear any of those answers from the doctor, because I'd love to say, you know, you make a good point, doctor, as the current science indicates, and now I'm quoting, that the frequency of penicillin and more recently amoxicillin treatment failures for group A strep has escalated steadily over the past 2 decades. Now we're starting off on an agreeable point. He or she said failures could be because of resistance, other pathogens not working as well as it used to. I'm just reinforcing their point. The current science is agreeing with the doctor. I don't need the doctor to agree with the current science. I want the current science to agree with that doctor. I want to escalate that doctor. And now we're walking down the same path. Because I got the answer I wanted, and I reinforced what they believe. Getting closer. Call's going well. I want to then introduce the current science. And I have a lot of fun, especially with this indication, introducing this current science. Because it's a fun topic. It's a topic that has a lot of sizzle. And you can use words like coaggregation and copathogenicity. They're big words, but don't be afraid.